Dawson's Rambles.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Writer here. Welcome to one of my last installments in my 2022 Wants series. This time I'm going to be taking a look at the top 5 things I want to see out of the Power Rangers toy and collectible lines in 2022 and beyond. So let's go ahead and get started. So starting with number 5, which is a similar pick to something I had on a previous Power Rangers list, which is Lightning Collection fans, just stop. That was kind of a joke, like in the last video. It's kind of a joke, but also real. Like, I feel that, I'm not saying this is everybody, but the Lightning Collection fandom has created this toxic subset of an already toxic fandom that has spoiled the fun of the Lightning Collection for a lot of people. Like, I've seen a lot of comments of people saying, like, they like the Lightning Collection or they liked the Lightning Collection, but the toxic energy around it and feedback around it has really spoiled it for them. And that's kind of the way I feel a lot of the times too. And I'm not saying it's beyond criticism. I don't think that you should just, accept things and be Pleasantville. I'm not saying that you're going to change the world or that they should listen to fans, but I'm not saying to sit there and be like, well, you should just accept what they give you and shut up. Because, I'm a review channel. My whole point is to criticize things and review them. I'm not saying to not give constructive criticism. I'm just saying I very rarely see constructive criticism. To be fair, I actually do have a handful of really good commenters on my Lightning Collection videos that I feel are a little like-minded to me, where they will have a complaint like me and be like, yeah, that sucks, but this is still a good figure, maybe they'll fix it someday. I appreciate those people. But 8 out of 10 times from what I see outside of my videos in the core Toku Power Rangers fandom is just vile negativity that's not constructive. It never comes from a place of, oh, I wish this was better, or maybe they can fix it, oh, this isn't too big of a deal, or this is kind of a bummer. It's always like, we deserve it! Hasbro's trying to kill the brand! Just because they missed one insignificant detail of paint doesn't mean they're trying to kill the brand. Like, legitimately, that sounds like an exaggeration, but I've seen people say that. Like, someone will have a gray colored visor instead of white, and they'll say Hasbro doesn't care, they're trying to kill the brand. Like, legitimately, I've seen people say that. I think that's ridiculous. Especially when you consider that they have similar QC issues with Marvel and Star Wars figures. If they're having problems with those real deal brands, that just means it's kind of a QC issue across the board. It doesn't mean that the Hasbro's trying to kill the brand. Not to mention the whole code hunting thing gets on my nerves a little bit, mainly because the fandom will reveal what's in the next wave early, and then they'll complain at the Fan First Friday that there's no new reveals. You have done that yourself. This was starting off this list with a rant, and I did not attend that. This is Dawson's Rant Bulls instead of Rambles. Moving on to number 4. Speaking of Lightning Collection, I really do want to see them fix the distribution a little bit, and this is a problem I was warned about with Hasbro and them having distribution problems, and it's something that I never really noticed too much before, because I do also collect Marvel Legends and Star Wars figures, but because I don't really review them outside of once in a blue moon, I don't pay too close attention to when they come out, or I don't feel the need to immediately get the figures. Like, as a reviewer, I'm obviously trying to get them out as soon as possible, so when a new Lightning Wave comes out, I'm trying my best to be on top of it. But when a Marvel figure or Star Wars figure comes out, I'm casual about it, so I never really pay too much attention. But now that I collect the Power Rangers stuff and pay attention to the distribution, I notice the same pattern. And so it's a pattern across the board where the distribution makes the availability strange, and I think they need to fix that a little bit. The thing that I've been running into, and which I've complained about before, is that the online pre-orders almost never come in first. You find them in person first, or somebody finds them in person, and then I'll very slowly find them one at a time, like at a Target or a Walmart, and then after I finally find the first full wave, I'll either never see them again, or I'll see them months and months later, and then those waves will usually disappear. Like, I know some people that have never seen some waves in their, states, and so I think that needs to change. I wish they would have more chances for people to get the waves. It feels like there's only a limited chance before they stop producing them. I understand that's kind of a money thing, but I feel like that needs to be calibrated. And as I've mentioned before, I really just wish the online pre-orders would ship at the same time. I'm not saying I want, Hasbro Pulse to have an exclusivity thing where they get it a week early, but I would just think it would make sense for Hasbro and Amazon and Target to just all ship at the same time. Even if Target gets it first in stores, if mine's just shipping about the same time, that would make me happy. Now, just continuing Lightning Collection stuff for number 3, even though I feel I'm a little bit more lenient on it, I would like to see the QC stuff cleaned up. Because again, I acknowledge there's problems. There's all kinds of paint mistakes, not just talking about nicks or little paint blobs on their heads, but I'm talking about oh, this doesn't match here, the wrong colored visor, and that honestly doesn't bother me if it's an isolated incident, but it's when they don't match. The SPD visors are all different, the A-Squad visors being different. But I would like to see that improve. That's just something generally I would like to see improve, both because I think it would be better for the line, and then we wouldn't have to do double dipping where we would have to get new figures to sort of make up for it, but also because I think it would make the Lightning Collection fandom a lot less of a toxic place. Again, they have similar problems with Marvel and Star Wars here and there where something doesn't match or there's mistakes, but I think that would just be a beneficial thing to clean up for the line. Number 2 is the last Lightning Collection related thing, and it's not really so much to the figures, it's just I want to see more of what's in store in regards to Lightning, Morphers, and roleplay toys. Really haven't gotten a whole lot since like the initial Morpher and Dragon Dagger releases. I think there was a rumored Power Sword based on a listing and stuff, but this year, and I guess beyond, I would really like to just see more of those things come out. Like, I don't want them to flood us with it, but I would like to get an idea of what's coming next. Probably some MMPR stuff, but it would be nice to get the ball rolling on that. We finally got our first Megazord that's going to be happening this year, so I don't have to include that on the list. You know, that I don't know if that'll be the only one that comes out this year. I imagine there'll be at least one more, but at least we know that's happening, and now that that's happening, I'd like to see more information on what Morphers and stuff we're getting next. Like, I know it's MMPR, but I think some easy next ones that I would be happy to buy would be Tommy's Morpher and more so the Master Morpher. At the very least, I just like to see the line continue and get a little bit more information on like if and when it's going to continue. Number 1, what I would like to see out of 22 and beyond, or 22, yeah, out of the year 22, out of 2022 and beyond, is I want to see the main Power Rangers toy presence be better in terms of like their presence in the store. Back in the Bandai days, they always had a very solid presence, meaning like when you went into the toy line, or the toy aisle, excuse me, you could really see like this is the Power Ranger section, it's full, you know, it's got a good presence. I keep using the word presence, but that's the key of this pick here, is the presence. And it's honestly had a really poor presence as we've gotten into the Hasbro era. Like, I don't know about you guys, but my Target and Walmart aisles, their section is a sliver. Like, back in the day, like, most toy sections get, like, 3 to 4 pegs. Like, it's around the same size, you know, of a section. So you can say, oh, this is Star Wars, this is Marvel, this is TMNT, whatever, this is Power Rangers. And now it's like, this is Star Wars, this is Halo, this is Power Rangers, and then this is whatever's here. And it makes it hard to honestly find. There's been several times at Targets and Walmarts where I've done a loop a couple times. I'm like, oh, they must not have any more toys. And then I'll see, like, a tiny sliver of like 3 figures, like Dino Fury figures, and then off in the corner thrown over here is like a Lightning Collection figure, and it just has a really poor presence. Like, you can't see that it's there, and I think it reflects badly on it. And I'd like to see them have a decent setup in the toy aisle so that their presence is known. Especially when I think back to the Bandai days, where the Bandai section always had a equal representation, like in terms of comparing it to other toy lines, but especially when it came to when a new season would come out. That's something I definitely miss, is I really miss, like, when you hit the Black Friday times, you knew that the new season toys would be rolling out, and you'd see those first Ranger board or Twitter pics of someone saying, hey, look, I found the first basic figure, I found the first Morpher, and you'd get excited, and you'd go out and start toy hunting, and then eventually, that was the biggest the display was usually, is a Target, Walmart, and then back in the day, Toys R Us display is a huge display, super exciting for the new season. I think that generates, for me, I like that better for marketing than like the way Sentai and Rider handles it with, we gotta line it up in the show to the detriment of the writing. And I like that. I like that. I think it, for me, when I was little, it generated excitement for the new season, because I'd be like, holy crap, look at all this new stuff. Look at these new Ranger suits. Look at these new Morphers. And it was just such a huge presence and a huge excitement. They had that a little bit with Beast Morphers, but not that huge display, but it had a decent sized display. But as we've gone on, the toy aisles have been pretty barren. Like, I feel like from the beginning when Beast Morphers toys rolled out until Dino Fury, it's just been dwindling and dwindling. Not to mention how little we get in the basic waves. I think it's probably a cost-saving measure, and they're focusing a little bit more on the Lightning, but I think it kind of sucks how much they've dialed back the amount of main figures you get for Dino Fury. Like, it's weird to me that Black and Green, who are main members of the team, are basically, at this moment, only available as Amazon exclusives in a 5-pack. And I would just like to see, in the future, for whatever the next series is or next movie, for us to have a bigger, more noticeable presence in the toy aisle. I'm not saying a big, you know, this is the beginning of the season display every year, but at least enough of a presence where you don't have to have a magnifying glass to find the toy aisle. But that's it for my list. I want to know what your guys' list is of what you want to see out of Power Rangers toys and collectibles in 2022 and beyond. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you know who's for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.